You ever watch a game that feels like two different seasons stitched into one afternoon? One minute, you're watching a throwback, improvisational masterpiece, a trick play that makes the stadium gasp. And the next minute, you're watching a spine rattling run that rewrites the box score and your whole mood for the week. That's what happened in Detroit. The Giants served up a handful of glorious, cinematic moments, but the Lions answered with a finale so sudden and savage it turned celebration into silence in the blink of a whistle. Jahmyr Gibbs' 69-yard touchdown on the first play of overtime finished the comeback and sealed a 34-27 Lions win. Reuters. The subplot that makes this feel like a movie is simple. Jameis Winston, filling in again with Jackson Dart injured, played like a man making the most of every snap. He threw 2 touchdowns and, in one of the weirdest and best bits of the day, caught a touchdown himself on a trick play that felt like a high-wire act. Winston faked the handoff, let the ball arc to a receiver, then ghosted into space, waving frantically until the ball came back to him, and then he shook off a linebacker and strolled into the end zone. It was the kind of play coaches diagram on a whiteboard and feel smug about when it works. It did, and it gave New York life. ESPN.com. For a while, the Giants looked like the team that had finally learned the script. Wan'Dale Robinson had a career day, piling up chunk plays that kept drives alive, and the offense moved like a group that believed in itself. Even the trick plays weren't just circus acts. They were calculated attempts to exploit a defense's overcommitment. When a game turns into a chess match, those creative gambits can flip tempo and force the other team to reshuffle. For about 3 quarters, it felt like the Giants had convinced the film crew and the fans that the season might still tilt in their favor. a.sports.yahoo.com. And then the tape flips. The Lions answered with a mix of patience and suddenness that made the whole contest feel inevitable in hindsight. Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't merely a factor, he was the factor. He ripped off a 49-yard touchdown earlier, and then, after New York's late drive failures, he turned overtime into a lightning strike. 1 crack, 1 seam, 1 touchdown. The stat line, a ridiculous day of rushing yards and explosive plays, reads like the work of a back who decided to carry his whole town on his shoulders for a game. When your tailback averages 14 yards a pop and can break a game on 1 play, you're not watching normal football. You're watching a man impose his will on a defense. Reuters. The heartbreak for New York wasn't just that they lost. It's how they lost. A drive that creaked into life, a